Welcome back, everyone. It's episode 3 of our broadhead testing. And guys, it is time for my all-time favorite fixed blade broadhead. This is the head that I hold all other heads to as far as standards go. This is the bar for me, and that is the Magnus Stinger 150 grain two blade. I love this head. I've been shooting it for a couple years now. So what we're going to do, just like we did with the other heads, we're going to go over specs and features first, and then we're going to shoot it using the same two arrows that we did in the previous test at 60 yards. So stay tuned. All right, guys, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Lusk Archery and John Lusk. In my opinion, he does the best broadhead testing out there. He's got a great channel. He tests everything apples to apples. So he's not necessarily shooting a whole bunch of animals with these heads and giving you guys reviews, because you really can't test one head compared to another apples to apples shooting animals, because every animal's built a little bit different. You're always going to hit a little bit different spots. You're never going to have really good, consistent test setup or a test method, and that's what John has established. So I love his channel, and that's why we've got some of the heads that we have here today. Not only do they fly well, but they also perform very well in his tests. So thank you, John.
All right, I'm over here on the Magnus website. So let's talk specs and features of the Magnus Stinger and why it is that, honestly, guys, to date, the heads that I've used, the heads that I've shot, the heads that I've hunted with, why this is my favorite fixed blade thus far. So Magnus Stinger, it's a two-piece head, and this is the vented head. This is the only vented head that I'm trying, and that's just because I have history with it. So the head itself, I guess I should say three-piece if you count the screw. So the blades are a single piece of steel, and these are machined out of a piece of 420 stainless. So 420 is a very common knife grade steel. It is a little bit softer than the other broadheads that we tested in the Tooth of the Arrow and the Tough Head, but 420 is a really nice blend of toughness, of edge retention, and easy to sharpen. And when I say easy to sharpen, I am not the best sharpener in the world, but I can get these things between a sharpening stone and a strap razor sharp. I can sharpen these broadheads better than any heads that I have or have tried. And if you do gum up ahead and you've sharpened it a few times and you just need to replace the blade, you can replace them, and they're actually really cheap replacement blades. I think I've got replacement blades for like 12 or 13 bucks at my local hunting and fishing store. So you've got the blade, you've got an aluminum ferrule. It's made out of aircraft grade aluminum. I don't exactly know what grade it is, but I can tell you the blade fits nice, snug, tight. Both the blade and the ferrule are machined really well, so you're not going to have a whole lot of play in this when you put that set screw back in and tighten everything up. And they're spin tested from the factory to 2,000ths of an inch, and that's going to give you some great flight, great performance, and that's what I've experienced out of this head. Comes with a lifetime warranty, so if you do screw one of these heads up, you can send it back to Magnus and they're going to give you another one for free. And their lifetime warranty, not only with their quality of the head, but what they offer it for as far as a price point, it's one of the best values out there as far as fixed blade heads go. So I am not shooting one of the heads with the bleeder blades, and you can obviously get that. You can get it in a 4-blade configuration with these bleeder blades. I shoot just the 2-blade because I want just that added penetration. I think I've told you guys before, I'm not that concerned about cutting diameter per se, but I want a broadhead that is going to penetrate really well. And one of the reasons why I like Magnus, not only because of its construction or the materials that it uses, but it's built on kind of that Ashby 3-to-1 profile. Now, it's not exactly that, but it's pretty close. Of the heads that I have, it's the closest to that 3-to-1 width to length profile. So it is a 2 3/16 inch long head when you get it in that 150 grain version. And it's a 1 1/8 inch cutting diameter. You can get this head in point weights from 85 grains all the way to 150 grains. And you can also get the buzz cut version. So if you want a head that has a serrated edge to it to just kind of add in, cutting penetration. I don't know if you guys have watched the Ranch Fairy before, but he loves the Serrazer versions of this head, and that the Serrazer is actually pretty easy to sharpen too. You can get the configurations in this serrated head, both in the 2-blade and the 4-blade option. Guys, the reason I love this head so much is really its combination of quality, materials used, the lifetime warranty, the price, and it flies fantastic. Even for a bigger head, this thing flies like a dart, and hopefully it does in this test too. Those just all those factors combined really make this just a super quality head. I would put this up against any replaceable blade, fixed blade out there on the market as far as what it does, what it's made out of, and the warranty that Magnus stands behind it with. So let's test it out with those same arrows that we built up and shoot it at 60 yards just like all the other heads.
All right, Magnus Stinger, shot 1. Magnus Stinger, shot 2. If you watched our Tooth of the Arrow broadhead review, you guys know I've got one arrow that is just shooting absolute garbage for broadhead. So something is up with this. I think it's fletching interference in my SWAT X1 barrel, but we're gonna go ahead and shoot it anyways, just so you guys can see how consistent the other 2 arrows are, and then that this one really does fly erratic no matter what broadhead you put on the front of it. Magnus Stinger, shot 3.
All right, guys, I want to give you a Magnus Stinger bonus shot. Now, I know this isn't exactly fair to the Tooth of the Arrow broadhead or the tough head, but what I want to show you is kind of the unofficial shot. So what I did with each of these heads, I shot each of them one time at 60 yards using the same arrow just to make sure I knew what I was working with and that these would be on my block target at 60 yards. So even though this is the unofficial shot, the unreviewed shot, I want to show you guys this just to show you how accurate these Magnus Stingers are. So this is the first shot with the Magnus Stinger using one of my arrows that I built up at 60 yards.
All right, check out this 2-shot group at 60 yards with the 150 grain Magnus Stinger 2-blade. Guys, this is why Magnus Stinger 2-blades have been my favorite broadhead the past couple of years, is because they fly so well. And I mean, you can see here some other Magnus Stinger shots of me with other arrow setups and shooting them. I mean, even out of a high-speed crossbow for a fairly long profile broadhead, these things fly like darts. I mean, this is basically right at point of impact with my field points, and there's certainly some margin for error with me holding my my scope and the reticle dot on this. I mean, my reticle dot is pretty much the size of this 3-inch circle at 60 yards. And again, I'm shooting just sitting, bog death grip, just like I would be if I was hunting out of a pop-up blind. So I certainly have a little wiggle as I'm holding on this, just like I would when I'm hunting. So for this, to basically be one dead nuts, one just outside of that 3-inch circle, I am super happy with that. And again, you guys, we called the third arrow. I did go ahead and shoot it just to confirm that it would fly crazy, and it did. It flew crazy way down here, just like it flew crazy with the other broadhead. So I apologize for not having a 3-shot group, but hopefully this gives you guys a good representation of what you can expect from a Magnus Stinger 2-blade.
All right, guys, just like the other heads, before I give you my assessment, do me a favor, post down in the comments below. Let me know what your assessment is of the Magnus Stinger 2-blade 150. Pause this video if you have to, but I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. So my assessment is what is not to love about this broadhead. I mean, it does everything well at an extremely affordable price point in a fantastic warranty. It's made out of high quality materials. It's machined to tight tolerances, spin tested from the factory. It's a tough broadhead. If you watch the Lusk Archery Adventures, John Lusk's review of this head, it performs extremely well in his broadhead test. And like I said before, I would put this head up against any other replaceable blade, fixed blade broadhead on the market. It flies like an absolute dart, especially for as big of a head as it is. With the long profile, I mean, it's got a lot of surface area on it. I know it's a vented head, so it's not as much surface area as the others that we tested, but it's still a big broadhead, and it flies basically just like my field points, which it surprises me every time for a head that is shaped like this with that big profile, for it to basically group in the same way that my field points group at a distance like 60 yards. It's phenomenal. You really, in my opinion, this is one of the ultimate heads as far as performance, materials used, durability, easy to sharpen, easy to replace blades, inexpensive, lifetime warranty, flies like a dart. I don't know what more you could want from a broadhead than what the Magnus Stinger 2-blade offers. So, and guys, some of the prices that I've shown on here off of the Magnus website, it's still the cheapest head that we've tested, basically website to website. But you can find these heads cheaper than $43 that you probably saw before. So I usually find them anywhere between $35 for 3. That's pretty standard. Or I have found them as low as $28 for 3, which is an absolute steal for what these broadheads offer. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.